What's good? How y'all doing this evening? Welcome back to the Forever I Love Atlanta Sports Podcast. It's your boy the Don with my co-host Rick Flex. What's good?
What's good, my man? Hey, we got a great show lined up today, man. I'm excited.
All right, and then we also got AFN MadMike Sports in the building. What y'all doing?
Miss Maggie, go ahead and introduce us, please.
Yes, it's Miss Maggie T with Atlanta Falcons Nation. Of course, that's my partner right there, Atlanta Falcons Nation, MadMike Sports. We on here just excited to kind of do this as a combo show because you know what? We got one of the greatest on right about now, guys. You probably are
No. We got to do this right. We got to do it right. The greatest running back in Atlanta Falcons history.
Right let here, him. Okay? I was gonna let him, kind of say his spiel and get in and get in.
The great. No. We gotta introduce the greatest running back in Falcons history.
The greatest running back.
Know it, bro. He need respect. Your boy need his respect, man.
And you know what? Hey, I'm not. Hold on. You know what? I want it. I don't
need that stiff arm from Jamal, man. I'm just gonna say that.
You know what though? Here's my thing. What happened?
See,
you go away. Y'all done scared the man away.
His connection lost.
His connection lost, but
connection lost. It'll be fine.
He'll be back when he come back. When he come back, we gonna give him the introduction.
Mm-hmm.
And hey, where's Devontae anyway? But hey, y'all already know what to do. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Feel Sports Podcast. Also, hit that like button. Share this content out with other Atlanta sports fanatics, and hit us up in the comment section. As always, come holler at your hometown sports podcast. All right. Y'all go ahead and plug y'all information. I'm gonna try to figure out where he at.
Okay. Yeah, I think his connection was going in and out, but that's pretty much, follow us if you're watching on Fila, follow us on Atlanta Falcons Nation. If you already followed on MadMike Sports, make sure you give us a subscribe. We are at 500 at the moment. We appreciate y'all. But if you guys are watching Atlanta Falcons Nation and MadMike Sports, make sure you also go over to Fila Sports and get on. But we got him back in the lobby again. That's okay. That connection.
Yeah, no, we got crazy. We have crazy weather here. I can hear it like outside, so I don't know what you guys are experiencing, but the wind and everything is over here is wild. And I'm like everybody else, like a couple days ago, we lost power for like half the day. So man, it's wild. Then it was like warm, and so it's crazy. I'm back though. I'm back.
All right, good. All right, hey, you know what? I did try to invite Bone Crusher on. So you squash that beef with him.
I love Bone Crusher. So I definitely don't have any beef with Bone Crusher. I'm saying if the team is gonna come at me, an artist to say they want him to do a Dirty Bird video, and you support the team, of course. I mean, yeah, I'm not mad at Bone Crusher at all.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I love that dude, man, and so. We used his music a lot to get hyped up. So I think that whole part of it was dope. I just feel like, obviously, it's weird that, that whole thing went down like that. And I saw it like y'all saw it. So I didn't even know it was going down. But so if you try to bring that back, like I'm down. Like obviously, if you follow me, it's clear where I am with this. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Even in my time. With network TV and all my things, I've always been like, from debating Skip about Matt Ryan way back when and other people. So it's like I'm always down with the organization. So that it's just weird to me, like how the whole thing played out, where it's like I'm literally like the Dirty Bird, like these kids that come in here on the Falcons and score and want to do the dance. These kids all grew up in Atlanta. Like, these kids know this dance. These guys playing now, they know this dance because of me. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like to try to, use the name and all this other stuff. And, so it was just wild,
Okay.
Let me ask you this question, man. I got this question for you. I absolutely have this question for you, man. Like what? And I asked Chuck this. I asked Chuck this question. And what do you want the Atlanta Falcons? There's a lot of misconceptions about you, man. This is your chance to really clear everything up as far as just who you are. What do you want people to know about Jam? That there's a misconception out there, like, okay, like Jam, I thought Jam was this, but you know what I'm saying? Like, what is that misconception you want to clear up with the fans? Is there something you want to clear up with the fans?
Yeah, that's what we need to know, man.
Like what? Like tell me. I don't know what the misconceptions are.
Okay, since you went there, I got one for you, man. I got one for you. This is look, man, your boy, man, Mike, I'm telling you right now, man, this is my first thought when I saw it. Anybody who know me know this is true. I thought you was just a little bit disgruntled. A disgruntled former player who just wasn't getting his way. Am I wrong? Tell me, am I wrong in that aspect? Okay, because
that I was like just being
like, as far as you want certain things, you feel like you deserve certain things, and you was basically airing things out, in a way that some might say that it was perceived as negative. Like you jumping on these guys when things are bad. Am I wrong for that?
Yes, for sure. I mean, if you look at me, man, I think if you even just look at how I've been, I don't know, you could like look through my whole timeline. I'm very supportive. And the only time was like last year where I was like, oh, why are they winning games? Other than that, like when they won up in Minnesota, I'm like, this is a team that, 3 games, other games that they for sure should have won. So I'm the person tweeting out saying, hey guys, it's not over. I don't think that we should be thinking about like draft positions because we're only 6 or 7 games into the season. And I'm like, I even gave an example, like, because in 97, we went 1-7 and we lost a bunch of close games. And then that same team went 6-1 until we lost the last game of the season. But that is the same team that everybody likes to remember in 98. But we started really balling in 97. And like midway through the season, I mean, we were like, we were like 20-4,
Yep.
So it wasn't like, when we got to the Super Bowl, it was down pat for us. And the other thing is, I've made a point of like, if you ever notice, man, like I'm not really around like that. I never wanted to be like when I stopped playing for the Falcons, and even when I was doing, working at ESPN and Fox and all these things, I'll be doing TV stuff again. I never been one of those people who wanted to be like, I understood what I was with the franchise. Like again, there's no place I go in America, especially sports town, where somebody's not screaming Dirty Bird. I'm forever associated with the franchise. So, but for me, you think I don't want them to be good? You know what I mean? Like, when we rolling, man, I'm rolling, So it's like, it's all good all the way around when it's going down like that. And so for me, I made a point of not necessarily going up to the facility when I stopped playing or like trying to like be all around, because I saw other ex-players who always had an opinion, and I was like, man, I never want to be that dude. So my tact has always been to be supportive, just like when I was saying again on Twitter about supporting the guys that are there now and how I like all the players. I like this team. I like the guys on the team, man. Todd Gurley's my dude. I was so happy he came back. Like, I don't want to see some of the stuff that's going on with them, happening. So for me, it was like, I know something deeper is a problem, and there's some operational things that I think that I've had some issues with, and for me, it's like, everybody else is catching these consequences except one dude, and I'm like, okay. So and so for me, that was my thing, and a lot of things changed with how they operated with a lot of people. And, again, when I was going on what I was saying about it, like I sincerely believe, like how is Jesse Tuggle not in the Hall of Fame? How is Tommy Noble's not in the Hall of Fame?
I love
Like
them.
how's Mike?
I absolutely
How's
love
Mike?
them myself.
Yeah, how's like Mike Cannon not in the Hall of Fame? But you don't know. You wouldn't even know because they don't really get no shine. You know, there's really nothing that comes through for them. I mean, Jeff Van Note. Like, I mean, I saw Tommy, like, man, and I'm not going to get into our conversation, man, but, like, you know, when I was working for the radio station and we were, like, up at training camp broadcasting, it was like we had to have passes and this, that, and the other. It was real funny style, man, but they have some interesting people up there, and I'm like, bro, what am I going to do? Attack Matt Ryan?
Yeah.
Like, so it's like a situation where, you know, there's no difference between us now. Mind you, my surgeries and what I did and what I brought to the table. Like, I'm not even asking for you to, like, roll out on a red carpet, but, like, to be trying to play us on some passes, and do you have passes on your field? And I'm like,
you don't even exist, bro. They act like you don't even exist.
It's like 60 people on the sidelines over here, and I'm like, so just wild stuff like that, man, where I was like, whew, you know, and we over here actively like broadcasting the morning show, like pumping them up, and like we want to see them guys do well, man. Like we want them dudes to, you know, play like the Dirty Birds and win football games and have a nasty attitude and bring that to the table. Like you think we want to? None of the guys who are around, but like, I mean, Terrence Mathis, man, you would have even know my dude played, and I'm like, Terrence was a baller. I mean, where Terrence came from and what Terrence did over the course of the seasons, but you wouldn't even know it. And again, I understand. I'm not trying to say they got to like do some post every week for some great player, this, that, and the other. But bro, like Terrence's birthday come up, y'all can't give him a shout out.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah.
Right. You're right. Absolutely.
That dude was I just like, man, that dude was a monster. And you know he.
Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying. So it's like things like that. So like, other than like, I don't care. Like all of that stuff is not like really, not necessarily even about me. That's not. You know what I'm saying? It's not my point. I'm just telling you, there's a way that great organizations who have consistent success, how they operate, and this is why they're great organizations who have consistent success. Okay, that's all I'm saying, man.
Yeah.
And there's been this funny, like, we were sitting at the Georgia Sports Hall of Fame. I'm going to tell you something now. And Chuck Smith was at the table. We in tuxedos and stuff, right? Mike Smith got up there in front of the crowd and said, we are not like those old Falcons. Like, we didn't go to the Super Bowl. Like, the bomb squad didn't lead. Like, the bomb squad didn't lead the league in sacks. We looked at each other at the table in tuxedos like,
now I get it. Now,
you know what? It makes so much sense now, because like we go to training camps and stuff, and like, you know, we look at all the fundraising and we don't even see you guys that much. Like, you may see Steve Barkowski, you may see JC Tuggle, and that's about it. You know, that's about it. I don't really see Bob.
It's not a welcoming environment, man.
Yeah, I don't see Bob.
I don't know what else to tell you about it. It's not a welcoming environment. And you know, we've been broadcasting local TV. It's not like anybody's. Again, I think for the most part, you know, even when there's times that we could have been critical of what was going on, we try to be supportive. You know, again, I've had a relationship with players who play there. It's just like, it's not one of those things where nobody's trying to like dog them, man. We want to see them do good, man. Like, life is better for everybody when they do good. I'm just as stressed as y'all when this stuff go haywire. You see me.
Right.
As I said, my brothers, like, we have a thread in my brothers. It was like, oh, happy Sunday. I'm like, boy, it was stress-free, and we also won, you know? And it was dope. Like, people hitting me up, like, yeah, Troy Aikman gave us a shout-out and stuff. Man, it was dope to see somebody like, yeah, because we had a certain attitude in the way that we played, man. All I tried to do when I came here, I never lost in my life. I was never part of a losing season in my life. I refused the attitudes and the energy that I saw here. And my entire time here, I was like, I'm trying to bring a winner here. I'm going to do everything I can to bring a winner here. I came from nothing They didn't give me opportunities to be the starter. I earned everything, man. I came from the literal mud, like going up against the first team defense, putting heads on them guys. Where Chuck Smith and Jesse was like, "Yo, y'all gotta let this young guy play." And even when I got out there to play, it was like you go through this whole process where you wasn't getting paid the most, this, that, and the other. Man, I came from the ground, like literally. You know what I mean? And my whole entire thing here was to build a winner and to bring a team to the table that had a certain attitude. You know?
Exactly.
And so, like when I came up with the Dirty Bird, it was literally how I came up with it. I was like, we have a history here. Bro, White Shoes is the first dude recognized as a big time celebrator, okay? And he did the
he was
dance.
prime time before prime time.
Hello, and then you have prime time with the famous high step. I literally like remixed those dance and combined the two to make the Dirty Bird because I was like, this is what we do here. And nobody was really paying attention to us while we were winning football games. And so I was like, we got to do something else to make ourselves stand out. And that's where the whole thing came from, you know? But that was all. It was like this. That's the energy in Atlanta. Like we at the games and hanging out with Outkast and JD and Dallas Austin. These are all our friends. But we trying to do something here because you see this whole energy, especially happening there with the music and everything else with the culture. And it's like, yo, man, I'm like, there's no way.
That was the greatest
time. There was no way when I got here. There was no way when I got here. I was like, I would be damned if we don't win some football games here. Like the greatest regret of my career is getting hurt twice in my prime. Because I'm guarantee you, it would have been a different show.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hey
yeah.
man.
Yeah, you got hurt. You got hurt the
What?
last year. Hold on, you got hurt the last year when Vic got drafted. You know,
I'm saying, man.
Everybody was hyped up for that 01 season.
Who you telling? I mean,
look, man.
A lot of people don't know. My man's playtime got affected. When I got hurt in 2001, but we playing Carolina. Remember we playing Carolina. And we were like on the goal line, and I was supposed to get the ball. And here go Mike, black 17. I'm like, is he checking out of my surefire touchdown? and Vic had a check with me. So he looked back at me, and I was like, go ahead, man. Go ahead. I'm like, go ahead, man. Go ahead. I remember we were in New Orleans, man, and he was like, no, this was not New Orleans. We had played New Orleans, and we came back home. This was like the second preseason game. I think the first time we were in the dome, and he came up to me. We had this banter back and forth, and he was like, yeah, man, this is the first time I seen somebody who had more jerseys than me. I said, you in the Dirty Bird's house, baby.
Yes.
So,
exactly.
I knew it was only a matter of time because obviously what Mike brought to the table, we were all thrilled by that. But I think that was the first time he came in the stadium and somebody had as many jerseys as him.
Hey man,
they like to act like we didn't bring. They like to act like we didn't bring it to the table though.
Yeah.
I was stiff arming whole defenses, bro. I was stiff arming Hall of Famers for these birds, man. You can't. You gonna act like I didn't come here and put it down. You know what I'm saying? That's my thing. So some of the other stuff that happened, I let stuff slide off for a little while, man. And here's the thing: when things have happened in my personal life that don't bring a positive light to the franchise, let me keep it 100. I'm the first one that back up. I don't want that shine on the team. You know what I'm saying? Like when I know what I needed to do to get myself in a position to be good, it was like I never want that kind of energy around him. You know what I'm saying? I like pulled out of events when stuff happened in the past. So it's not I don't expect anything crazy for them, but like that was wild, man. And I held that, and then the fact that I wasn't even going to say nothing about not honoring the 98 team until we found out the Minnesota Vikings honored their team in week 2 of the same season. So like the 20th anniversary of the first Super Bowl team, nothing.
Wow.
You didn't have to invite me, man. Like I'm not even.
I remember.
Yeah, I'm not even. Yeah, and I'm like, I don't care if I'm not the one you bring out. They've done events like that before, where it was like they had other people there. Whatever, man. Just respect the squad. Like I don't even care if it's not me. That's my whole point. You ain't gonna forget me. regardless of what the organization
now,
did.
here's my thing. Here's my thing, and this is, and I'm getting more pissed off as I'm listening to you. You know, now we know what happened with Mike Vick. You know, and with the dogs, and he went to jail and everything, and he lied to Arthur Blank twice about it.
Yeah.
But guess what? In 2016, they brought him back.
Yes.
You ain't do nothing wrong, Jamal. What the hell? Like, I'm just trying to figure out, like, what you do? Did you sleep with a man's wife or something? Or, like, I don't know. Did you?
No.
I'm just trying to figure out, man.
You wild. You wild.
Hey, that's a Summer Hill in me, man. That's his zone 3 in me.
No, I'm not even mad at you. No, I don't even think it's like that. I feel like it's I don't know. It's hard to explain to me. I think that was my thing. Like the whole the Dirty Bird video. That was like, whoa, that's wild, man. And it's cool, man.
You're not gonna have the original Dirty Bird on that, like seriously.
Oh yeah, my boy Reggie, he in the chat right now. He loved that video, by the way.
Yo,
wow.
I feel like when it came out, everybody was like bugging out about it, and I was like,
it was trash.
People were calling me left and right. And I was like, damn, it's one thing not to use the OG, and then it's another thing for the video to be like, because I would at least got it right. You know what I mean? I would have had Bone Crusher. I would have had Bone Crusher right. So he probably want to hit me up so we can redo it or something. I don't know. Yeah. I want to see these guys. Listen, I want to see these guys do well, man, because it's better. It's better for all of us. And I really want to see. I also have a beef when the franchise doesn't get respect. Like I'm like. I know we haven't won a Super Bowl, but it's so wild to me. Like they do these NFL Network week. It's like the 49ers week or the Steelers week or it's Dallas week. I'm like, man, so I'll be at their next too. I'm like, man, we had good players too. And that's why I feel like there's this discrepancy.
Atlanta don't get no respect, period.
Yeah, that's another thing, man.
Again, man,
you're right, Maggie. Like ESPN, like you do not like they do not. It ain't just a Falcon. It's just the whole city. They just see us as a destination for Magic City and rap videos. That's it. But when it comes to sports, we don't get that respect. We don't get it.
Yeah, nah, it's and that's something you gotta earn. Obviously, we've had a tough run. There's no question about it. Again, I nobody spends more time than me. Like, man, I got hurt when Vic came in, and there's no telling what could have happened. I was a part of recruiting, helping bring Warwick Dunn in, and who knows what would happen if I would have got hurt. I love TJ Duckett, by the way, and that was my dude, and we used to hang out and stuff, and it was people would see us out at eating or something, and they'd be like, "Oh, Jamal, this that and the other," and I'm like, let me introduce you to TJ Duckett. They'd be like, "Oh," and I'm like, "No, TJ was a big dude, and the dudes came to play, so that DVD backfield, you can't even hate on it. You know what I'm saying? Like they were putting up numbers, but I mean, who knows what would have happened if I wouldn't have got hurt? I certainly think my influence on Mike and the way our relationship was starting to really form, it would have been different. And I think that's something that maybe DR regrets because he would have had a much better understanding of what it meant to be a leader and how to be a leader. Because I learned from guys like Jesse, and Chris Chandler and those Chuck Smith and those guys. We had Morton Anderson. Those guys' lockers were all by mine. And it takes, when you handing over the keys to the franchise, man, you got to surround that guy with the proper tools to be successful. And that's not just from a coaching point of view. That's about the personnel that you surround him with. Who else is going to be able to influence him, especially when, you have a player like Mike who comes from where he comes from. Now y'all hear all the stuff because he tells you in these interviews now. Now you know everything that's going on when you watch the 30 for 30s and stuff like that. But there's no question in my mind. I'm watching this guy on the field, and I go, I remember I called my dad. I said, well, I think we got a unicorn. And he was like I said, this dude, he's like shifty and fast like Barry Sanders. His arm is as good as Jeff George, which was a legendarily good arm. And I was like, this guy's a freak. And this freak of nature is going to be under center every snap. I said, so if he knows where he's going with the ball and he takes the time to learn and apply himself, I don't know how they're going to stop him. Because he's a freak of nature. I mean, he's literally, the day he showed up, he was, and this is me on the team. He's one of the best runners on the team already. And then his arm and everything else. And so for me, it was like, obviously getting rid of Dan and doing what they did, I think was not good because Reeves was on him a little bit more. And they realized the error in those ways. But it's like, you see guys now, it's like, let me take Joe Burrow for an example. You draft a guy like Joe Burrow, man, give him a line.
Exactly.
and then Joe Burrow's a different type of dude though, who's gonna come in a different way. And so the way Mike came in, and I'm not knocking nothing about him, on the Iverson side of it, you need to surround that type of guy with positive leadership and veterans who are going to teach him how to be a pro and to mature in the game and also be successful and what it takes to be successful, okay?
Mm-hmm.
All of those things matter when you have a player like Mike because I'm like everybody else when I look at the highlights, but I lament when I look at the highlights of the great plays, I think more or less, man, it could have been so much more. You know what I'm saying? And how it all went. But I'm glad Mike has done a fantastic job. I love what he's doing. I love the work he's doing. I love the way he has rehabilitated himself. I get mad when people are unnecessarily come out at him because he did so much to make amends for his charges.
Absolutely. Y'all want to go into y'all next question?
Rick, you got a question for him?
Oh man, I'm just soaking it in. I mean, just like what he said to me earlier, just kind of. He's soaking in a legend, right? I mean, why in the world would, like you said, he's tied to the Atlanta Falcons forever. Why in the world would he want to be tied to a franchise that doesn't succeed? It makes no sense.
No.
So
my Sundays very much like you guys, man. My family laughs at me because I have the game on, and I'm like, my day changes based on how the guys win or lose. Okay, my dinner on Sunday is better when the Birds win. Okay, I respond. You have a better chance of me responding to your text messages and calling you if we win. Like some of the catastrophic losses, I'll be like, I'll be, man, I'm mad, But I'm also like, I love Matt Ryan. I think he's been outstanding for the organization. I think I don't get some of the stuff that he goes through. I know it's not flashy or whatever, but it's crazy. And I'm like, I also would like to see, and talking to Julio and being around him, you would just love to see a generational talent like that. That's what pains me so much about being in Houston. I'm like, like I haven't been there because you want to see.
Oh man.
Listen, man, I'll tell you guys a story, man. So, our Super Bowl was in Miami, okay? So, no, I'm not talking about it.
We remember that. Oh, yes, sir.
I was all ready to go. So, I'm not talking about any of that part of it. But when we got to Miami, I remembered I'm a student of the game, and I like to consider myself like a historian with football, and I love the old players, and Jim Brown is the reason I wore 32. So I'm like, I remember, man, and I was like, we're in Miami, we're at the facility in there, and I'm like, guys, I remember Dan Marino got to the Super Bowl in year 2, and he never made it back. So like, that was me all week. I was like, you know how much it takes to get there, and like everything that has to fall into place for you to go on the run like we ran on. So I was like, if you remember the first game of the Super Bowl, I tried to run through the whole Broncos defense. Like I was beyond amped, and I was like, I was ready to go. I was ready for my moment. You couldn't have told me at the end of that game that I wasn't going to be doing Wheaties, and I was going. My Disneyland commercial, boy, I had Michael Jackson I was about to pull out when I said I'm going to Disneyland. Y'all was gonna be tired of me. So I was ready to
You
go,
already
man.
knew
And
you
so
were ready, huh?
I'm listen, man. I was like, I was practicing. I was practicing parade waves on floats. So, but I just felt like that whole entire week. I'm like, it just takes so much to get there, and now we see because
Mhm.
what the excellent run that happened in 2016. I mean, I was there when Green Bay beat us in 2012. And then I was there when the San Francisco game happened. I was in the dome for both of those games when we had those teams, and obviously it was painful. But when it was so magical when they won in the dome, and it was the last game. It was just like it was great to be there for that. So there's been moments, man, but it just takes so much to get back to that point. And so, you watch these close games, like I said this year, it's like, man, if they would have won those 3 games when they had the lead, the similar things happened to the San Diego Chargers this year. I'm like, then you're looking at a different team. Now, mind you, Quinn probably would still be the head coach. And again, I had no problem with Dan Quinn. Everybody liked him. I liked what he was about. Maybe he could have been a little bit more influential and doing some other things to kind of connect the histories. But
accountability, keyword.
Yeah, that's the thing, and that's that. But here's my thing. You talk about a coach, man. Like Dan Reeves, man. To me, that's coaching. He held y'all guys to accountable, and we talk about standard. Like y'all had a standard in that locker room,
yeah,
and it translated on the field.
no doubt, man. And I used to be like, that dude used to be on me. I swear he called me the politician because I had a little. Well, I had a little debate about everything. I'd be like, "Well, coach, let me see. Can I see?" I was trying to have a point about everything. So he used to be like, me and Bob had a little routine, but he was big about like he didn't care if you were a starter. His thing when he first came in is like, you got to do scout team reps too. And I was like, dog, you ain't see me have 50 catches last year.
Wow, really?
No, he didn't. Dan Reeves didn't care about none of that stuff, man. And so, like, if you put your helmet on the ground, you couldn't put your helmet on the ground. Like, you couldn't lay it around. Your helmet could never be on the ground. So you had to be on the knee with your helmet and stuff like that. Like, it was like, back to square one. And so once we, it was a tremendous change in terminology and the mentality and what we were doing offensively. I mean, we were going from a run and shoot to where we were running like power, where we were pulling the off tackle guard and the tackle, the tackle and the guard backside.
Was that a common thing? Was that a common thing back then, pulling guard?
Well, for when you were running power plays like we were doing, yes. So you'd see Dallas do some variations of that. And remember, so I came from a situation in Utah where I really didn't have a fullback. So Bobby Christian comes in '97, Dan's first year, and I'm looking at dude and I'm like, that's my fullback.
Get out of my way. Get out of my way.
Wait. I'm like, my fullback's smaller than me.
Oh man!
I remember the first week of practice, I was like, well, I don't know, man. I don't know. But I tell you right now, man, when Bobby Christian, this is how much it changed. First of all, he was brilliant. Second of all, he was a fantastic player, and he gave unbelievable effort. So we got so close. When he got hurt in New Orleans in '98 on our run to the Super Bowl, when he was on the sideline, I had tears in my eyes. That dude was like my security blanket times 10. You know what I'm saying? And you remember what I was doing that year. So I'm like, oh, we're having a historic run, and he was huge to us, not just in blitz pickups and passing games and our communication. And he really saw and felt what I was doing. So we would be moving like through the hole like this, And so, Kozlowski came in and
I said he was your eyes. He was your eyes. He saw
man. I'm telling you. So I went from when he first came in to being like, to like be. But when he came out in the Saints game, I'm like, they're like, what's wrong with Jamal? I'm like, Bob, he hurt, man. I'm like, what am I gonna do? I was like Sealy on the bus after that game, man, and we won. So
man.
he was a tremendous player for us, man. He's a fantastic guy. He was an unbelievable guy in the locker room, and so I mean, every chance I get, I mean, I try to give him his props. So he was a baller, man.
Another thing happened in '98. It wasn't the Atlanta Falcons, but it was a former Falcon tearing it up in the ring, Goldberg. And then I remember the episode. I remember the end of the episode.
I seen that picture
January 4th.
Yes.
I know about WCW now. I know about some WCW, but yeah, but like at the end, I guess at the end of the show, he brought all the Falcons players out. You was out there. I thought, man, I'm thinking like you about to attack Hogan or some Nash. I'm like,
listen to me, man.
I
gotta tell you. No, they did not. Believe me. So me and Goldberg, okay, when I got to the Falcons in '94, right? Goldie was on the squad too, okay? So we were not dressing for games, okay? But we were traveling with the team, okay? Man, we were in Hold on, man. We were in San Francisco. Man, and Goldie was like, hey, man, you know, we weren't dressing, and San Francisco was a tough place for us to play, obviously. And you know, Steve Young and those boys went on a roll that year. And I remember Goldie was like, hey, man, I know a place back there where we can get something to drink. I was like, what? Huh? This guy knew where the concession stands was and everything, how to get around there. I was like, oh, man, this dude he was one of a kind, man. He was an intense teammate. He was always like one of the guys, always had great energy. He just kept getting injured. You know, he just kept kind of getting banged up, and that was kind of the thing that happened to him. His body would end up failing him in some situations, so he wasn't able to stay out there. So when he took off, man, and his whole thing took off in the WCW, I mean, we were thrilled for him. And it was a trip because it was like our ascensions matched the franchise and then hit Goldberg's. And then it was like we both in '98, you know, they were coming to the Georgia Dome, and he was like, yo, man, this is what I'm going to do. I was like, whatever, man. So I went to a couple of events with Goldberg, and, you know, we went to see him. When Chuck took the kids down to go see him at the big event last year at WrestleMania. He's still a great friend, and you can see from his posts, man, how much he loved being a part of the team, and we love to be there to help him out. I remember, man, I was like, me and Jesse always had this thing, you know, when the big games are coming around, especially like when I remember like NFC Championship and the Super Bowl, we were like, all right, man, so whoever gets introduced to the NFC Championship, the other one's getting introduced at the Super Bowl. So here we are already thinking about the Super Bowl, right? Mind you, we're going to play 15-1 Minnesota. So I'm about to get into this debate. I'm about to get into this debate with Jesse Tuggle, and we like going to flip a coin to see, because it's an honor to be, you know, introduced for the NFC Championship, but we weren't going to be home. And I was like, yeah. Oh, no, coach, the defense been balling. I think defense should get introduced in Minnesota. Because I was already trying to line up me coming out last of the tunnel at Miami. And I remember Jesse was like, no, Jam's trying to give it away. No. What you got planned? Come on, Jam, what do you got planned? And I was like, no. So we flipped the coin, and the defense won. And I was like, yeah. So I'm like, all we got to do is win. And I'm the last one out the tunnel at the Super Bowl, man. So it was wild. I saw somebody just write R.I.P. Craig Hayward. That was my guy. I got Ironhead stories for days. That's one of my great regrets, too. When we had June Jones in '96, we waited till like the last game of the season. I don't know if you guys have seen that clip where Ironhead is out and he hits Jeff Lageman, the defensive end, and knocks his helmet off, and then Craig kicked his helmet across the field.
Yes.
Oh, I tell that story in speeches sometimes because I couldn't believe it. But man, we waited so long to like we were both there at the same time. We were doing the run and shoot, and so it wasn't until like the last game of the season where we actually lined up in the I formation. And I was like, this was my mentor, man. I love that guy. And I miss him all the time. Rest in peace. I'm so happy to see his sons doing what they're doing. But this is an example of what I'm talking about. Like Craig, when he got to Atlanta, he was resurrecting his career, but he had such a great attitude, and the way he played and the way he blocked. I mean, he was like having a lineman in the backfield. And I remember June saying to me, "You could run and catch, but until you could pick up the blitz like Craig, it's gonna be hard to play you." And I was like, I was already gonna pick up straight up. Okay,
knock you out. Whew.
Yeah, I mean, it was no two ways about it, but it set a tone for the rest of the running backs and his leadership, and he was a great teammate. And Ironhead was a man. He has a whole chapter in my book. Trust me, he's earned it. But I miss him, and he was a fantastic teammate.
Mm-hmm.
Hey Maggie, you got a question?
Yeah, I do have a question. It's kind of going, taking you back a little bit, Jamal. We always know about the 30 bird and everything else, but I watch you faithfully. I watch everything that you do. I see what you're doing with your son and football and everything. Your daughter, all your kids are beautiful. But I know that you're raising him to be a football player, but was football always something that you always wanted to play?
It's crazy. I don't know if you guys know my boxing background. My dad used to work for Muhammad Ali first, and then Sugar Ray Leonard.
I remember you saying that.
Yeah.
And then Mike Tyson. So I grew up around three of the greatest boxers of all time, And that's what I also tell people. I'm like, when you think about it, what was a key feature of my game? The stiff arm is basically a jab. You know what I'm saying? And so that's where it came from. I used to have to hit the heavy bag and the speed bags when I was a kid. And everybody thought I was like a dude. Huh?
Yeah, that's crazy.
I said, you give us some. I never knew that. I never knew that.
Yeah. So like everybody, we got pictures, man. We used to be up at Deer Lake training camp when Muhammad was Muhammad. I was very young, but we got pictures of us hitting the bags and speed bags when I'm like 6, 7, 8 years old. And then, with Sugar Ray Leonard and then being around Mike Tyson, that was like, everybody was like, oh man, I got 4 brothers. They're probably going to be boxers. One of them's basketball, another one's basketball. I'm football. I don't know, man. It was always my thing. Like my dad said, since I was like, he's like, since I can remember, you're like 2 years old, you're watching TV, and you start trying to get in a 3-point stance on their own. And so he started just putting me in the 3-point stance, and that was always my thing. And on Saturday mornings, when I was like, I can remember as early as like 6 and 7 years old, where kids would maybe race to go cartoons. I'm trying to hear like John Facenda and watch old NFL highlights. That's where I fell in love with like Jim Brown and Marion Motley. I used to watch some black and white clips, and I was like, this is what I wanted to do. The physicality of it. And when I first got on the football field, it was like home for me. Now, I played baseball. I ran track. I don't have a track body, but I did used to dust them kids. Like, he's not going to win this 100 meters with those big legs. Man, I'd be past them so quick on my Gatorade before the race was over. I played all the sports, and I think it's important to play all the sports.
Oh, yeah,
and,
definitely.
But that was my love. And so Jamal, it's crazy. He started playing. I never wanted him to start playing at 6 years old. I'm going to keep it 100. But he was a big kid. All of his friends, we were coming back from a summer trip out to West Coast, and all of his friends was at football practice. So he's like, I want to take me up there. So I took him up there. He runs sprints with the kids at 6 years old. He runs by everybody. I'm looking at him. I'm like, he's big. He's a big kid. And so, next thing you know is I want to play. And I was like, not prepared for him to play at 6. Seriously. I was like, oh, man. But, man, his first game, we played against Buford, and he got a high handoff, and it bounced up on right up here, and he dropped the ball, and I was like, oh no! Like his first carry in his first game, that sucker picked up the ball, turned around, and stiff armed a little 6-year-old kid and went the other way 50 yards. I was like,
a natural, hey.
That's natural.
That's, hey, it's in the genetic.
I was like, ain't no way his first play. And I'm like, I'm gonna have to hear this to the end of it, man. So he's, it's funny. He plays defense right now. He's big. He's almost 6'3". He's bigger than me.
Ooh.
Yeah, and he's about 200 pounds right now. He's only a sophomore. So we
I've been following. I've definitely been following all of that. Your daughter is ill. You just got a talented family over there, but it's only natural that was going to happen anyway.
Well, thank you. We're very proud of them. My daughter Mia is at UGA on the track team.
Yep.
So we're excited about her. She's doing really well. I just had my oldest daughter graduate from UGA with honors, so that was fantastic. Yeah, it was cool. So my other son is out in California working. So everybody, man, we've been really fortunate and blessed, and their mom is fantastic, and she's done an amazing job with them. So we've been lucky, man, and we'll see what happens, man. We're excited to see where he's gonna go. He's got some time, and so you never know. We need 3 Jamal Andersons, right? We got to make up for double A.
Yes.
Oh man, you had to bring this man up, man.
No, listen, man. My bad. No, he's such a good dude. I hate when because it's like, it turns into that thing, and I wanted to see it work out. Listen, man, my energy is always where I want to see guys win.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Tack, I think of him, and I think of Big Beasley, where I would literally, because I've been around Big Beasley, and I'm like, God, he's such a sweetheart. You don't want to, he's such a good dude, and he's got great energy, and he's so good in the community. Like, I'm like, geez, I wouldn't hesitate to send things that I wanted to say being tough because I liked him. And I wanted to see him do well. And I didn't want him to have a fragile psyche. He follows me. And I'm like, I want to be supportive. And I want to see guys like that win. When everything about him, like when you meet him, you're like, damn, man, you just want to hug him. He's such a good dude. He's got great energy. He's so nice to everybody. You know what I mean? You want to see guys like that win. Yeah. And so that was like my thing where I was like, I just wanted it to work out so badly for him because everything else about him was like A1,
But you got fans in this fan base, man, who, if you don't perform to their level or whatever, they'll run you out. That's
cut your throat.
The thing is, man, I think everybody needs to recognize that, young players have a maturation process that they have to go through in this league, Every now and then, somebody's going to come in their first year, and they're going to light it up, and the first time they're starting, they're going to light it up. I mean, Pat Mahomes is doing what he's doing, but he sat for a whole year, before they made that decision. And it's like, guys you still got to learn this game. This is the next level. These are the best players in the world, man,
Exactly.
And so you got to have some patience. Now, you don't want to be like my only problem with some stuff about it is if you have some kind of extra foolishness going on. And, I was talking about Vic and I'm talking about Tack because some of the stuff where I'm like, man, get off social media. No, I'm saying like get off of there. Or like if you're going to be that person and you're going to be that way, which I'm about to, I'm like, hey, I couldn't imagine this day and age, like dealing with social media when the guys playing because I know I talked on the field. Like I'm a talker. They had me mic'd up. I was talking. Okay, I was letting you know that I was bringing business to you.
But you proved it though.
You proved it. You backed it up.
Right. But I'm saying when you play the game like that, good and bad things happen, and you just got to be able to deal with those ramifications and repercussions. Or prepare yourself in the best way possible each and every week. And I think sometimes where I'm like, zone in on, okay, I know you want to be popping on social media. Zone in on that game first, and all of this other stuff will fall in line.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like if you care about your craft, and I cared, like I wanted to be one of the best running backs. I used to say to them guys, hey, I don't care if they bring Barry Sanders in here. I'm gonna compete with anybody. Now I didn't want to see Barry Sanders, but my attitude is I'm coming to play. I'm coming to battle. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not saying I'm better. Obviously, not
Right.
saying I'm better than Barry Sanders, but I'm saying I'm coming to compete each and every time. This was my attitude. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And so that was my thing where I sometimes like, come on, dude, like you have a gig to do here. Focus on that, especially if you're a young player. Don't involve yourself in all the other stuff. Learn your craft, man. Learn your craft
Exactly.
because if you can excel
First.
at
Yep.
if you can excel at this thing here, you're only going to help and make everybody else around you better, man. You know,
But it's the
your
social media
personal
age, man.
improvement is going to improve the team.
But
Hmm.
it's the social media age. Like these young players, they'll get the recognition. They feel like if they get the recognition from the fans, that's all they need. Like I'm not saying that's Tack, but when Tack got
Yeah,
drafted
no, no.
draft night, he cussed on the stage or whatever. Everybody, oh man, man, we got a dog killer. We got a dog killer. I'm like, okay, man, y'all gotta just calm down. He ain't
Yeah,
played a snap yet. Let the man play a snap, and
right.
let's see how he
Wasn't
do.
Prime interviewing him though?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Prime. Yep.
Prime put that gap. Prime put that leaded pump in his back.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
and,
which
and
I'm
that's the thing, and that's the thing, man. Like he, for the few years, not this year though, he calmed down on it. But
yeah.
last year when
You know what though?
before we played
I,
Minnesota, he said 3 sacks, easy work. Like this is before
yeah,
we played Minnesota, and then went out
yeah,
there and like he didn't even perform in that game. Like
yeah.
you gotta
And see,
talk,
He did
yeah,
do that.
I want to say about his draft thing because I thought I loved it and I thought his energy was great and it's a once in a lifetime thing to have your
Oh
name
yeah.
called on that stage. So
Hmm.
I loved what he did. I had no problem with none of that stuff. But you're right, man. I just feel like you gotta work on your craft, man, and work on like what matters to you because this is a career, and especially now, and the positions and the money that you can set yourself and your family up for your life, man. And so it's like I see some stuff sometimes where I'm like, some of these guys, I'm like, wow, why don't they put forth, the effort that it seems like
The
it
vet.
matters to them to want to be successful because it could be a different thing, and this team this year, I feel like, um, you know, some inexplicable things have happened, like in some of those losses, which it was like crazy. But like I know, see, I call those 3 games where they lost, and then I think they should have beat Carolina too. And so I'm looking at those things, and I'm like, man, this team, you just never know what could happen. And so we'll see. We'll see. But it's not going to get easier because they got to play the Saints and the Bucks twice.
So that kind of leads me into like what I was going to ask you, like you talk about. You say your dinner hits a little bit different, like if the Falcons lose, right? So when you're watching, how much of you is actually like since you played and you were, so much involved? How much of you is able to just watch the game as a fan as opposed to a former player? How do you control that?
Well, I mean, so my tack is always, I guess, from the fan side, is always wanting to see them be successful. You know what I'm saying? But I'm
Yep.
always situationally watching as a former player.
Right.
And then so like having, I guess too, it's different. Like when I broadcast games on ABC and did Pac-12 networks, I see things like, and when I watch film, it's like I see things from a different perspective. So like
Exactly.
we come out in certain situations, and I'm like, why is it trips right in 3rd and 2 in this situation? I'm trying to figure out like already what's going on. I know.
yeah.
So I'm like, that meme with all the numbers running by the screen.
Yeah.
This is me. I'm like, so I'm already situationally. I used to call plays from my kids' team. We won a bunch of championships on the youth level. So I'm not trying to say I'm like, but I prided myself, and this is one thing with like June Jones, and again, as I was saying with Mike Vick, I knew all of the checks with Vick, and Reeves trusted me. He was like, so if you have any doubts about whether or not you should be checking out a player, look back at Jamal. And I knew all of his checks. You know what I'm saying? I knew the defense, what the defense was supposed to be this, because I think a lot of people forget, like, I spent one whole off season in 96 working as slot receiver. And so, like, that next year, I had like 50-something catches in the run and shoot. I didn't even play running back the whole spring. June Jones made me a slot receiver. So, like, I had to know all the layers. And so that's kind of how I see the game, too, you know?
Fair enough.
Can I ask you a question about that? Kind of expand on that a bit. But first, where can we get that
The swag.
Dirty Bird.
that, bro? Like,
Yeah, we need to know how
yeah,
we
where can we get that, man?
Yeah, this is the Dirty Bird line. You see the logo? I can't even tell if you can see it.
Yeah, we can see it. All right.
Yeah, that's us.
cold.
That's-
That's cold.
Man.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Y'all see
That
them
clean.
helmets?
That clean.
Oh, look at the helmets.
Oh, he got the whole line up there. Whoa.
Let's
You
be
have a
showing.
website, Jamal?
Hold on. We're out of stuff now, but I'm gonna launch something again. We are literally out. But I only did a very limited. I only did a limited line, and I'm gonna do it again because everybody's been on me. And so, like, that's one thing I'm doing in the next couple of weeks. So we will have stuff out, and I'll put some link and stuff before Christmas. So,
Oh, shoot us a message. Let us know so we can
Let
go ahead and
let
make
us know
sure.
before you. Yeah, let us be the first one on it.
hold on.
I want that.
Hold on. This
Oh,
Yes.
this is my helmet from '98.
Wow.
This is
Wow.
my helmet from that season.
Wow.
So I can do show and tell. I don't know if you guys care.
I can tell. Hey, I can tell that's 98 because I see a lot of fingerprints of defenders trying to tackle you.
I'm telling you. This was. You remember this? Ooh,
Oh, yeah, that's my favorite. That's my favorite right there.
we wore this in '94.
Oh, I
yeah.
love
Oh,
that
yeah.
one. Yes.
Oh, yes.
So what I wanted to keep mine, so I had everybody on the team sign it.
Wow.
Of course, I signed on the Falcon.
That's right. That's right. Because you, Jamal, you got to make sure
No, you know who's on this helmet? Like Jeff George, Bobby Abear's on here, DJ Johnson, Ricky Sanders. Remember we had Ricky Sanders?
Mhm.
I
And this
remember.
is
Yeah, I remember.
Oh yeah, we old school fans.
Way
So we
back.
definitely
Yeah.
way back.
Ricky Sanders was a baller, man. It was great to have.
Yeah.
It was great to have that guy.
Oh yeah, so everybody want that merch. So we definitely waiting on you, and make
I
sure
will
you
let
hit us
you
up
know.
exclusively, so we can
Yep.
be the first to put it on and wear it on the next show.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll rock it.
We'll definitely rock it.
I'm a 2X, by the way.
Man, get out of here, man.
Bruh, you be coming. You just be coming out the dark.
That's what
I
we
already know.
do.
I already know who'll be cutting up when y'all get together.
Oh, yeah, that's all we do.
It'd be that one too.
That's
Yeah,
all
I see.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm the innocent
I think-
one on here.
we, all right. So go ahead.
Go ahead, Jeff.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I would like to see. I mean, I think it would be great. You know, they got an uphill battle, but I think it would be great to see competent football, a tough team, and to see, you know, Raheem get a good shot. You know, I know that they're going to be critically judging him, and who knows how much of what previously happened is going to be attached to him. You know, from Quinn's regime, but you know, it appears energy's different, and I don't know. Again, I think all those guys like Dan Quinn, but it's a little more oomph in their step right now, and so I would love to see. Although I wouldn't, Eric Bieniemy is You know, I don't know what's gonna happen, man. But I would like to
Let me
see.
give you a name. Let me give you a name. Let me give you a name of a coach that I know. You may not know him, but I know he will turn the tide, especially on his defense, because we've been historically just been bad on defense, man.
Hey man, he'll run it back. He worried about the running back, man.
No.
He know about man. He know every side of the ball.
You know, I was an all-state linebacker.
You were.
I was an all-state linebacker. Yeah.
So Utah brought you in for outside linebacker, didn't they?
Well, no, but I would have loved to play. I thought they were gonna give me a chance to go both ways. I was trying to be Woodson, bro. I would have loved to do it. Trust me. So I don't know. It would have been kind of hard, but I wish I would have had a chance to play. I really wish that I would have been like 6'2" and like 300 pounds, because I would have rather have been a nose guard. If I had my druthers, I would have been like Warren Sapp. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but what I was saying though, what I'm saying about coaches though,
6 feet tall, man, you could have been the nose. I mean, Grady was what? Yeah, Grady's 6 feet tall,
6 feet,
300, 290. Yeah. Man, you could have been there.
Yeah.
But that was a different time. That was a different time. They had bigger guys. It was bigger guys back then. You had guys like Ted Washington, who was like 6'5", 300.
Hey, I'll tell you a great story, man. So we played the last game in Milwaukee County Stadium, okay? With Brett Favre and the Packers, with Sterling Sharp. Actually, unfortunately, the game Sterling Sharp, his last game of his career. Brad Edwards hit him. They played together in South Carolina. So anyway, pregame, I'm out there like doing warm-ups and stuff. For Ironhead, and I'm standing like on the white of the field and like the sidelines right there, and I'm like, I feel something, and I was like, nah, no, they don't have earthquakes in Wisconsin, bro. I turned around. Wait a minute. I turned around, and Reggie White was running by me.
Ground shaking.
That man, I turned around. This is the first time I'm seeing Reggie White. So I turned around, and he's running, and I was like, what in the hell is that? He was
true story. Hey, I actually teach at the high school that Reggie White went to.
Man, I miss that guy. That guy
everything
time, man.
Everywhere in this school, man. Everything, like you can go like in the gym, like everything on the walls and stuff, trophies, Reggie White.
Yeah. You really couldn't be a better person, When we played together in the Pro Bowl and being around him and just how his energy was, and he was a big Muhammad fan and he knew my background with my dad and stuff. But man, he was so, even the stuff that we went through after the Super Bowl, man, he was, Eugene, we were all at the Pro Bowl, man, Reggie let him have it, but it was like funny and not like personal. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I mean, Reggie did it in a way where it was like, you gonna get it anyway, but it was like,
you gonna get that anyway. What you paying for?
Yeah, he was just a different dude, man, and he was really, really good dude. So I miss him a lot, man.
Cause they played on the same team though, Eugene and Reggie.
They did. Yeah. No, they did. They were great friends. Yeah. No, yeah, Reggie loved that man. Reggie loved him, and so listen, man. Eugene Robinson was a fantastic teammate. I love him to this day. He was a great leader for us. He changed the way he came in the locker room, and again, that's what I was talking about, having veteran leadership. Ray Buchanan was our ace, no question. Ray was lockdown corner, but Ray was wild too. Ray was about that life. Oh yeah. You remember Ray slammed the dude in the end zone?
Oh yes.
Yeah. Yes. So it was good to have guys like William White and Eugene Robinson, who were veterans, savvy, smart, great leaders, and then obviously having Ronnie Bradford. I mean, I love all of those guys, and that's one of my fond memories. Yeah, man. This team, and I guess I could kind of say that, but the special teams, those bonds you always have, So like when Robbie Tobeck left, man, I was disgusted. And then he went out there to Seattle, and Sean was getting all those yards. I was like, dog, I want my center back, dog.
Yeah.
But we're still great friends.
Yeah. But yeah, I was saying about as far as the coaching go, like I know Eric Bieniemy is Eric how a lot of people list, but a lot of people not sleeping. A lot of people sleeping on this man right here, Don Martindale, the defense coach for
Wink. Yeah.
I think he'd be good for the Falcons, man.
Yeah. You know, and he possibly could be. You know, some of that stuff. And a lot of things with coaches and from the administrative side of it, that's one thing that I like. I think from an attitude point of view, you know, there's no question about it. You know, we want to see, you know, you want to have an attitude, you want to see toughness. I mean, I'm jumping up and down when Keanu O'Neal runs through somebody. So I've been so frustrated for him. I've been so frustrated for him because, you know, not only has he been, the big thing about being hurt is he doesn't get a chance to mature and prosper and make plays the past couple. And so it's like playing catch up. And what, you know, when you have a Steve Atwater built talent at safety, it's a different mentality, man. And so I'm glad to see him making plays. I'm glad to see him getting his legs underneath him. But, you know, obviously it's been tough with him being hurt. This is the obvious, you know, unfortunately part of football, but there's no doubt about it, man. I want a tough defense. I want a defense that, you know.
We need people scared of us at this
Listen
point.
here, man.
Nobody.
Listen here. Give me a defensive end like Chuck Smith every Sunday, please, because that was a hunter.
Yes.
I'm telling you now, and I'm talking about from the intensity in our practices when we used to go when Chuck and Bob went up, you know, we used to do Oklahoma drills, and it would be Bob in front of me and then Chuck, and they was ready. These are best friends, they lifelong best friends, and they ready to squab. Okay, I mean that's how it was. And when we run a 9-on-7 period, you know, they're not necessarily tackling me, but you know, Jesse not about to let me do him. You know what I'm saying? It's not gonna be. And when we were running, I remember we would do goal line period. It'd be live goal line period. This is what made me so mad when I got hurt in 2001 because I felt like we had something that season, and then I got hurt, and then it was like one thing. But the attitude on that team, and I remember doing live goal line, and I was talking to, you know, Keith Brooking and Jesse and them. Y'all can't stop me. Y'all not gonna stop me, man. I spent through and ran and broke outside. It was like, oh, he about to start a fight. But this is the way good teams. This is how you become good teams. It's like it's not personal, but we going at it. We battling, and you know, 1-on-1. Me and Jesse in the drills. Jesse trying to lock. Ain't no way Jesse could cover me. Well, but I mean, he's trying to lock me down, and like Brooking made a whole point of like, oh, you're not gonna beat me. You know, Brooking can run, and dude has size. But we made each other better, man. It was all that battle, and that's how it is. And that's how that attitude happens. And that's how you start being able to have success, man. Pushing each other and coming with a certain attitude, you know. Be willing to work, you know. Be willing to work. And somebody said Patrick Kearney. I'm laughing because I remember. I held out, unfortunately. I had to get my money. So we drafted Kearney. Remember, we drafted Patrick Kearney, and I showed up in the helicopter, breaking my
wow.
Woo, boy, listen here. Y'all, hey. So my dad not only worked for Muhammad Ali, he worked for Michael Jackson. I was dramatic by nature. Okay.
Hey.
So I was I remember the first day I'm in pads, and Bob Whitfield's like, okay, man, you know, this Kearney rookie, you know, he's trying to rush full out, where Bob is like trying to do like the pro stuff, where he's like, come on, man. And he's like, all right, you know, so this is what I'm going to do. 'Cause this kid, you know, Patrick was out there like he was trying to be Lawrence Taylor. And, you know, it's like late in practice. Bob Whitfield ain't trying to do all of that foolishness. So we running the team period, and Bob told me, he said, I'm going to short set him. And I said, oh, man. So Bob's going to short set him, and I'm standing behind the guard. I'm tucked. You know me, I'm like this. I'm standing behind the guard, and Bob comes out and short sets Patrick Kearney, and he come flying around. Bruh, I came from the guard, and I launched from my feet. You know the Juggernaut superhero? I launched from my feet at Patrick Kearney like this. Yeah. Hey, I hit him so hard. It took him out. Bill Colon lost his MF mind. He's like, what is that? Oh, he lost his mind.
Y'all don't know nothing about Bill Colon, man.
Bill Colon lost his mind. He could not contain himself. He was so mad at me for trying to take out his new toy. And I was like, Patrick Kearney, I was like, welcome to the NFL, kid.
Hey, that's how you look.
That's how you got to do it, though.
That's it. Yeah.
I love Patrick Kearney.
Practice, I'm telling you, practice is you get battle tested in practice.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not getting battle tested in practice, how you think you're going to perform in the game?
That's what I'm telling you. I can tell you right now. I directly attribute some of my success because when I was doing scout team, they was like, "Oh, you got to be Barry Sanders this week." I honed in. I mean, if you remember, if you look at tapes and stuff, like my jump cuts and sharp cuts, man, I was on that stuff. But I honed in all of those skills doing scout team, getting lit up in certain situations and trying to run through the defense. And when there wasn't any real blocking, what were you going to do? Can you make plays happen? I was like one of those people that took pride in, all right, you don't really have to block, but if you can hold it for a second, I'm going to get through. I'm going to find a lane. I'm going to find a way to have success, you know? And we obviously we had a good line. Them boys were putting in work.
Your acceleration was something serious, man. I just got to say that your acceleration for such a big guy was top notch. I don't remember a lot of big guys moving, accelerating.
I tell you, until that my Michael Turner could roll. Michael Turner had great top end speed too.
Oh yeah, burner.
He was like a bowling ball, man. But when that dude, I was like, woo! I remember looking at him that first year. I was like, he came way too close to my numbers. You know how you be in the stadium rooting for somebody? He'd be like, all right, homie, slow down, dog. When Turner hit like 1,400, I was like, all right, Mike, back up, dog, back up. No, what a great player for the organization for a number of years. But I love the way he played and how that dude should drop his shoulder on people. But again, it was a mentality, man. He was a finisher and he was tough. And what a great asset for a rookie quarterback to have a running back like that, you know. And I think that really helped Matt Ryan out. Obviously, having Julio and Roddy White didn't hurt. So, but I'm like that, man. Like I love Roddy. I would have loved to play with Roddy White. That's my guy.
He's great.
Love his attitude, and that's the kind of guy.
That's what they need in the locker room right now. Just attitude.
Yeah, I think Calvin Ridley is outstanding. I watched Julio. I almost called him in high school, oddly enough, but I saw him play 3 times when he was at Alabama, and just something about him. Even though Roddy is a unique guy, and him and Julio are very close. Julio never changed who he was and how he was, you know? So, like, Roddy gonna say some stuff where you gonna be like, Roddy gonna pop off. And that's just who Roddy is, man.
He gonna tell you how it is. He don't care if he hurt your feelings. He's real, though.
That's what I'm saying. And what you going to say, he backs up his stuff. But I'm saying Julio's never been like that. And, I just love, that he's the best receiver in football, but he's also like a hard hat dude. That dude's like a construction foreman. It's like just going to work. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. So. All right, I got a question for you.
Yeah, he comes to play. He comes to work.
February 5th, 2017, third quarter. What was your feelings in that game and around that time in the third quarter when we was up 28-3?
Yeah, so
I know we got to talk. I know we don't want to talk about it. It's a touchy topic, but I just want to hear from you.
Well, I mean, we were all celebrating, straight up, and I was hosting I had a big appearance after the game for like an hour. I was hosting something. We were all like already, we were all talking about how Houston was going to be, like how lit it was going to be, And what's crazy? It was very much like, obviously they're completely different games, but if you were in Miami, man, the city wanted us to win. Like everybody there was riding for the Falcons, and that's how it was in Houston. Like, the Patriots are like the evil empire, you know what I'm saying? And so yeah, they have their
Yes.
core fans, but like, the casual fan on the street, it was like everybody was riding with us, and so it's crazy. It's crazy. It's hard. I can't even talk about it like I was on the field with them. You know what I'm saying? Like because I know
I was on
how
Fox
much.
5. That's my fame.
Yeah,
Brian.
it's like it's crazy. It's crazy how it happened, and it's hard to really wrap your head around it. That it went down like that, but it did.
Man, we was all shocked. Like in the back of my mind, I've been a fan of this team for like 30 some years. All right. And we was up 28-3. I'm like, this is too good to be true. I'm like, and I'm
I
type
didn't even
person.
think.
I don't celebrate till the clock
never
hits
thought
3
about
zeros. And like I'm like, everybody's shouting and I can text messages from my cousins and my brothers and stuff. I'm like, look, y'all, the game ain't over yet. Like let's calm down. And like
Man, I
as a
never
full
thought
quarter,
that.
we got in the full quarter, and I'm like, oh man, we about to lose this game.
You know
I
what though?
can't
I didn't
believe it.
think that. I didn't think that. I didn't think that. I
Neither
didn't
did
think that
I.
until the end.
Neither.
No, because we were playing so well.
Exactly.
We were playing so well.
I
I
never
just
thought
thought,
that would happen.
no, me either. I thought that something was going to work out, and
That was
it was
it.
a dominant. It was a dominant game, and so for me, um, yeah, I'm almost speechless when we start. It's just crazy. But
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't think that was going. I didn't think that was going to go down. I was excited for everybody, man. And like, I remember somebody was like, "Oh, they'll be the greatest Falcon team." I'm like, "Bro, I don't care about that. I wanted a championship for the city.
Exactly.
Exactly.
I
That's all
wanted,
we wanted.
We wanted
Yeah.
a
I
parade
wanted,
again.
yeah, I wanted a championship for the guys. How hard it is, and I wanted a championship. Let me say this for the overall ascension of the franchise. Okay,
Yes.
so then you had to give me a good excuse why we didn't have a week of highlights because we won Super Bowl too. You know what I'm saying? And so for me, it was like you just never know what that type of victory is going to overall do for the
For
franchise and
us.
what would have happened the past couple of years. So that's what I care about. So like I came here when it was a certain way, and this how my energy is always going to be. And so like for me, I I I ultimately want the ascension of the franchise where we are. I'm trying to like if I could do something about putting us in the upper echelon in this league, I would do everything I could to do it. But I don't play
Yeah.
anymore. You feel me? Because I know how different it is when you know. I think this could be one of those franchises because the city is diverse. It's fabulous. The places to live, the neighborhoods, the people. I'm like, there's so many things about where we are that screams consistent championships that I feel like,
Mm-hmm.
that's my thing. Look at the stadium. I mean, it's Atlanta, man. Everybody want to come to Atlanta. Like everybody want to come to Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? And so for me, it's like I know what that championship would mean, and then what it would mean to just put a consistent winner up there and give us a shot every year. And that's
I
really
just have that.
that's where my energy is.
I just had that dream of when after the post game they show the live for the live celebration and
Hmm.
of the Super Bowl, and they have a former player walking down the aisle with the Super Bowl handing it to the team. I just have that dream of Deion Sanders. Yes, the rankings didn't want to pay this man. This man went off and won Super Bowl with another team, right? Just walking down that aisle. We went after we win our Super Bowl, walking down that aisle, giving us, I'm not trying to sound like an entitled fan, but just
No.
giving us the Lombardi Trophy, something
Yeah.
that we should have been had in this city for years.
Yeah.
You know,
give me Jesse Tuggle walking it out though.
yeah, we need
Hey.
that, but they got to put him in the Hall of
I was
Fame,
thinking
man.
that
Like
too. I was thinking that.
they need to put him in the Hall of
I don't
Fame.
know
Like
how
I would
Tuggle-
have loved to see Tommy Lopez to do it, but it's too late.
Yeah.
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 No, I agree. It would be
Like,
dope to see.
That hurt.
It would be
That
dope
hurt.
to see.
More than anything.
They ain't put
Jesse-
him in the Hall of Fame. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, that's another. I don't Mike Ken. One of the great tackles to ever play. It's unfortunate, man. And yeah, Jesse is like a crime. From the guy who came from a free agency to what he did. I mean, really, he should have made like 10 Pro Bowls. I know that matters a lot when he started talking about this stuff, but because the team wasn't consistently winning, I mean, his numbers are insane. What is he, 2-3 all time in tackles?
Yes.
But we're not talking about a dude that's like, we're not talking about 6'2", dude. We're talking about somebody like 5'11", 6 feet tall. You know what I'm saying? Who's really an undersized. Well, not undersized because Jesse Chest was like Arnold Schwarzenegger's when in his prime. Jesse built like a grown man twice. That's why Grady's a monster. But so I don't want to say Jesse's like some little guy, but it was like that linebacker, like Sam Mills was a beast. You know what I'm saying? Like those dudes just came differently, and they came hard, and it came every single time. Like I don't ever, let me see. The only time I remember Jesse. So we played the Jets, and Jesse that was the worst game we had in 1998. No question. The Jets, it was like some weird anomaly for us. But I remember Jesse going out, and I was like, it must have been like the third quarter or something. I was like, yeah, man, this one is a wrap, boys. It's just sometimes it's not your day, and I was like, let me try not to get tattooed out here while we getting already tore up. That was like the worst. That was the worst game we played like in 2 years probably.
Jamal, we can't have you on the show because everybody been asking. I've been holding it out, but we gotta see the Dirty Bird. We gotta see the Dirty Bird. We gotta see it. We gotta see it. If you can give it to us, we gotta have it.
Hey, let me hold on. Let me call Bone Crusher real quick. I'm playing.
Hey, I was gonna sing
No.
I don't ever do this. I wonder can I still do this dance? Hold on.
Oh, you can do it.
You about to do Dirty Bird.
I'm excited, y'all. You know how excited I am. I'm excited.
Let's go.
That was my dance.
That's the OG.
And it still looked good. So
that's just
you
for the
ain't
Falcons
lost a
fans,
step
baby.
or nothing. That's right.
Go.
That's right. You got to do it for the Falcons. I don't care about anybody else. You got to do it for the fans because right now they really excited you. This is an honor, honestly, for you to be here. Like we really wanted to give this to our fans. It's been a pleasure, honestly. Like you are my number one. You are definitely my favorite. I have a picture with you that I tailgated with you before, and I hold that picture dear because it's like I'm meeting a legend because I grew up watching it. I grew up watching all that you do.
I say this sincerely. There's no greater honor to me than when people approach me and say that they like the Falcons because of me or because they started messing with the Falcons because of me and that they're still Falcon fans to this day. It is the greatest honor of my career. Absolutely. It was an honor for me to come here to do what I did and to represent the team on the national level and to try to bring a champion and a winner here and to bring a right attitude. You know what I'm saying? So it is
absolutely
that year was electrifying. I don't care what nobody say. That's gonna be the greatest year we ever had. Because honestly, we wasn't even expected to be there. I know it was like they weren't even thinking the Falcons was gonna be there. So just to have all of that was just amazing.
I'm gonna say this before we end it, but I think that's you guys beating Minnesota is the reason why the national media hates Atlanta because you guys messed up so many people's Super Bowl and expectations that year by spanking that ass. All right, I'm just gonna say that.
You know,
That's the reason why they hate us to this day.
I would agree in some aspects, except that could be true for some people who may have picked them. But there were a lot of people that we were entertaining too, though. You know what I'm saying? But we were entertaining, man, and we had fun, and obviously celebrating and stuff. But we had fun out there playing the game, and I think that
it was high schools doing your dance. I'm telling you, it was schools, schools
Yeah, we
doing
had
your
the Dirty
dance.
Bird. Yeah, I was in elementary school, like the Super Bowl send off. Like we was like doing the Dirty Bird. Everybody, we had recess the whole day. Like we ain't had no, we ain't learned nothing that day. We just doing the Dirty Bird. Like,
I'm gonna tell you what, one of the best moments in my career. I'm sorry if I cut you off.
You good, man?
Okay, one of the best moments in my career. I did not know when we were leaving to go to Miami that there was going to be any type of parade. I don't know if that was planned or what, but like when we were leaving to go to Miami and people surrounded the streets and everything else was happening.
Oh, that was
like,
amazing.
At one point, I told the dude, like, we were in a limo, and I was like, "Yo, stop the car, man!" Like it was just a different energy in the city, and for the city,
cut school for that.
Yeah, it was dope. But for the city to have a parade for us, man, I got unbelievable pictures and memories from that because it was the first time. Even didn't go well. It was overwhelming, and so, man, those things will forever keep me attached to not just the city and the franchise and the fans. So regardless of what happens, and I'm sure we'll see, but regardless of what happens with them and the fact that I'm not recognized as a legend for them, I know my place.
So we're gonna get it. We're gonna get it.
So
we're gonna get
I'm not even tripping, man. It's all good.
Fans, get in here and ESPN, anybody. Falcons, y'all got the address. Y'all need to make noise about this guy right here because honestly, he needs to be honored.
Exactly.
I appreciate y'all. It was a pleasure to hang out with y'all, man. We gotta do it
no
again.
problem.
Hey man,
no, it was an honor for us.
Another thing before you leave, man, I'm gonna be honest. Like I was like 11 years old in '98. Well, 10 going on 11. And like before that, I was born into a Falcons fan. I'm from Atlanta. Zone 3, Fulton County Stadium, like 2 blocks away from the house. And I'm like, okay, I'm a Falcons fan. And like, all those years before we lose and this stuff, and I'm like, as a kid, little kid, like, why am I? You and Chuck Smith, all these guys, look, y'all made me proud to be a Falcons fan.
Yeah,
in that
I appreciate that.
I always wanted to tell you guys, if I saw y'all, in person or like Skype right now or StreamYards, that I always want to tell you that y'all made me proud to be a Falcons fan.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man.
Still to this day, I'm still proud to be a Falcons fan, no matter what our record is. At the end of the day, I always say, look, long as we go, I'm gonna still be a Falcons fan. Long as we at least 2-14 that we whoop the Saints behind those 2 games. Hey, that's all I care about.
What I tell Mike Dicker, that's your blitz. Hey, what's one of my favorite things? Like, we get into these little things, and I'm like, if you look at my numbers for Saints and the Panthers, boy, I used to destroy the division. Okay.
Oh, yes.
I'm like, you knew. They knew I was gonna give them the business every time we played each other. So it's always fun to go up against those. Always fun to go up against those foes. I appreciate y'all, man. We got to do this again.
Oh yes, I'm gonna be in your DM soon. Letting you know.
My coach he hit you up too.
We appreciate you, man.
We appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
A pleasure,
Thank
man.
You.
My pleasure, man. I'm glad we got to talk for a while.
Oh yeah,
take care.
It was the honor. Thank you.
Appreciate you. Thank you, man. That was fun.
That was yes.
Yeah,
That was
man,
like that's
the
my
legend,
favorite.
man.
that's it right. That
I
right there
follow
will go
him
down,
like
man.
I follow him like a groupie. I ain't gonna lie.
It's
I
like
watch
a
his
kid
family and
again,
everything.
It makes you feel like a kid
Hey,
again.
man.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it does. It
Yes.
really
It
does.
does. It does. It felt good, man. It felt
It
great.
takes you back to those years, like Don. That was great, man. It really makes you go back and really think, like, man, we really started liking these guys because of him.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Being really prideful, being prideful about
Exactly. You're
I'm
right
glad.
because everybody say it's Michael Vick, but no.
It's Jamal
No,
Anderson.
it's
It's Jamal
Jamal
Anderson,
Anderson.
Chuck Smith, and all those guys, man.
Prime
Like,
time, all of them. You
Yeah,
gotta go back.
and it's a crying shame the man ain't in the ring. I mean, it's a crying shame he ain't in the ring. It's a crying shame.
That
Like,
is.
man,
we're
we gotta
gonna
start
have
a
to start
petition.
it.
We gotta start a
We
petition.
gotta
That was
start
saying
a petition.
Falcons fans, we gotta talk some shit. Get in there.
GSHM, look,
Yeah.
GSHM, AFN, Fila Sports, right now.
Everybody.
We gonna start a
We
petition.
starting
Right
it. We starting the petition right now. Okay, we're gonna get that. We're gonna get that going around.
That's
No doubt.
right. Man,
So,
we don't made it, y'all.
We
Woo.
appreciate it.
Yes.
We truly appreciate it. You guys want to go ahead and plug your things real quick, and Miss Maggie, close it for us.
Clean the house up.
All right. Well, go ahead, Rick.
no, you can go ahead. You can go ahead.
I was just gonna say, man, look, everybody who joined us live, appreciate y'all joining us. If y'all on if y'all watching through AFN or MadMike Sports, hey, come on over to Fila Sports Podcast and give us a subscribe, please, and also share content out. We don't just cover Falcons, we cover Braves, Hawks, United, Tech, Bulldogs. You name it, we cover it. Georgia State, Georgia Southern, like Atlanta Gladiators, Georgia Swarm, all that. Like, come holler at your hometown sports podcast. It's your boy the Don, our co-host Rick Flex over there. He's the baseball analyst expert.
Oh yeah, that whole everything about that was amazing. He just have these. I don't know how he get his hands on these awesome bats, but man, I was like, you know what? I want to get in this competition because I want that bat.
Hey man,
he's also
I've been holding out on you guys. I didn't want to do it. I've been holding on. Wait till y'all see the Falcons helmets I got. I just hold out.
You know what? I don't even want to hear it. Make sure I'm in the number one.
But he also, Rick, he also the Trevor Lawrence killer too. He killed these Trevor Lawrence.
Dude, why you had to do that, man? Why you had to do that? You didn't have to do that, man.
I just couldn't keep it. I can't keep taking it, man. Look, Falcons fans, I love y'all, but we don't need him. It ain't gonna happen.
I just did a show. I just did a little video. I was like, we're not tanking. I'm sorry.
Well,
we are not tanking.
All right, look, even if we were there at one, I still don't think we take him. That's just my opinion. Period.
Yeah.
First overall, we trade him back. We go get more picks for this year and next year, and we go build us a defense.
Look, when somebody asks me about Trevor Lawrence, all I'll say is if the Jets do have the number one pick, I just wonder if the kid's gonna stay in college for another year. That's all I care about. All right. Because you know what? He's going to like Joe Burrow with the Bengals. I don't know how Joe Burrow is going to finish off the season. I mean, the dude's getting drilled. So, like, do you want to set yourselves up for that? But, you guys notify me on I'll be sitting there shooting out all the Braves stuff. Today was the beginning of free agency for baseball, so all Braves fans are pretty anxious to see what they're going to do with the moves, and I'll be putting out some content letting you guys know what the moves the Braves need to make and the moves that they'll probably make. So just stay tuned for that.
And you can find all that on Fila Sports Podcast.
Yep.
He does his own clip. It's called a Flex for the Goal. And then, me, I cover, Falcons and other content called the Don's Favor. So it comes out.
All the coaches. I mean, this dude, all the coaches.
Yeah, it's only the official head coach Scott for the Atlanta Falcons, by the way. Don't let other Falcons content creators fool you. They still in the sauce for the Don, and then they want to sit up here and sit around.
Woo!
Oh, you said it. You said it.
That's all we got to say on our end, but y'all go ahead.
Okay. Well, Mike, you wanted to say something before I clean it up?
No, ma'am. This is your show. You do it. You can speak for me.
Well, you already heard how you guys can find these gentlemen right here. Well, even though his face is not on here, but Look, we are affiliated with each other. So everybody should know all about Georgia Sports Hospitality Media. Like he said, they do everything Atlanta. We don't have a local radio or newscast. Thank you that will do this. Like for every single sports in Georgia. You know what I'm saying? So y'all have to follow these gentlemen right here. And also Fila Sports. But also, you already know Atlanta Falcons Nation and MadMike Sports. Thank you for being here. We got Atlanta Falcons Nation to 500. We're trying to get to 1,000. So go ahead and hit those subscribes for every channel that you just heard. Make sure you give us some comments. Don't forget that. We would love to hear the feedback about the interview. How did you feel about it? If you want Jamal to come on back on, if you want some of that gear, make sure you remind us to remind him to drop that link. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was an honor to have this man on, but please, 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 please go back. If you know, please share this, whatever streaming platform you're on right about now. Make sure you share it to everybody. Tell everybody to come on over here and follow us and watch us no matter which place that you're following and liking. It doesn't matter, because guess what? We are a team and we're affiliated with each other, and we're gonna run together regardless.
Look at
You're
what
not gonna see
Ultra
Mad Mike,
Shadows
you're not gonna be seeing Dunn, you're not gonna see Rick without one of our faces a part of it. So
look at what Ultra Shadow said. He said GSHM is better than the ESPN and other media outlets. You ain't lying.
Thank you. You got that right. You got that right.
Gotta say that.
Yeah, we stick to the facts, you know. So
and you get good interviews like that. That man just gave us his history. You're not gonna get that.
You don't get
he
that.
spoke from the heart. So you're not gonna get that anywhere else. Even ESPN would have cut him off quick.
Yeah, this ain't a 30 for 30. Like, this ain't scripted. This is all live in front. And know what I'm saying?
From the heart.
Yep.
Gotta do it. Gotta do it.
Yep.
But with that being said, we're gonna give y'all Sunday evening back, because you know it's still Sunday and folks got to get up and go to work. ESPN is hot trash.
Absolutely.
I see you, Magnus.
Yeah, appreciate it. We appreciate it.
I would love to see them helmets again too. We'll go ahead and make sure we'll have a clip of that so y'all can see that. But please
make sure to bust out my Dion that I got signed. So throwback. I'll let y'all see it.
See, he's throwing it in the face again. You know what? We're gonna go to
Hey, I mean, if you want to, we can auction it off. You know what I'm saying? Do a little charity or something. We can do something, make something happen.
The next interview is gonna be at Flex House. How about that? That's what we're gonna do.
Come on.
But with that being said, this is Atlanta Falcons Nation, Georgia Sports Hospitality Media, Fila Sports, and MadMike Sports. And of course, I'm Lush Exchange. Y'all already know that's unrelated, but got to throw my little self in there. We appreciate y'all, but we're out of here.
Hold on, Trey. I ain't do a live, but I did a clip, but it was like 11 o'clock after the game, so everybody was tired.
I did a post game little post. If y'all going to go back to AFN, I did something, but no, it was late. It was definitely late. Who was gonna be up that late? I fell asleep.
I did my clip. I put my clip up after the game. It was just like an hour after the game, but I did it though. So you can go to Fila Sports Podcast if you want to look at it. I always put we always do our post in the end of the game. So we got y'all covered no matter where. You want to AFN
on podcast too. Yeah. Go on your streaming services also. Don't forget the streaming services. You guys on Apple as well as Spotify. Check it all out. We're everywhere for you guys. All right. So check us out, man.
There you go. Y'all know where to go find them. We got some things you can watch right about now. And we out.
All right, guys.
Hello.